the success of yesterday's National Memorial Service at FNB Stadium. We would like to welcome General Matanzima with us. We also should have with us the Minister for Home Affairs, but she might join us, but in a place we'll ask Mr. Mamwepa to deal with issues related to Home Affairs. Yesterday was a momentous and moving day, as tens of thousands of people gathered at key venues around the country to mourn the loss of our founding president, Nelson Mandela, and celebrate his life and legacy. The National Memorial Service brought together South Africans from all walks of life and united us in a mourning and celebration with friends and partners in the international community. South Africa's loss is the loss for all of humanity, and it was therefore appropriate that we reached out to each other in this way to pay tribute to an unrivaled human being, patriot, and leader. It was natural for us yesterday to commute between sorrow and celebration, because Madiba represented so many things to so many people, based on a course set of values that set an example to all of us. Our sincere thanks go to the Mandela family for making it possible for South Africans and the global community to share in yesterday's historic event. We appreciate the fact that people joined yesterday's event in pouring rain, and we appreciate the fact that people responded positively to our appeal for them to use public transport that was available free of charge. We know this is a difficult time for the Mandela family, but we trust that they have been comforted by the warm and affectionate responses of people around the world. We thank South Africans from all walks of life for attending the National Memorial Service at the main venue and other sites where people followed the broadcast. We thank South Africans for attending satellite events in urban centers and remote corners of our country as a means of being part of this national and global event. We also thank people around the world for following the events in South Africa through the media, including social platforms. This has created an extraordinary sense of unity and focus among people from diverse backgrounds and geographies. We thank the unprecedented number of international leaders and dignitaries who have joined us in South Africa. We thank them for their support and interest and for helping to advance the values and agenda of the great Nelson Mandela. We wish those leaders who are returning home a safe visit, and we look forward to working with them in future to create a better South Africa, a better Africa, and a better world. We hope that the stirring and inspiring words and ideas that were shared yesterday will remain in people's memories, and that they will inspire people around the world to strive for and create the kind of society which Madiba would be proud of. This is a time for us to be together, to pull together as a nation, and to honor Madiba with dignity and decorum. We want to thank all the officials and marshals and volunteers and others whose hard work over the past few days and hours produced the efficiency and the dignity we saw at yesterday's event. This bodes well for the landmark events that will follow in the next few days. Finally, as we look at yesterday's events, government has noted the concern expressed in various quarters about the alleged incorrect use of sign language at the National Memorial Service. Government is looking into this matter, but has not been able to conclude this inquiry due to the demanding schedule of organizing events related to the state funeral. Government will report publicly or any information it may establish, but wishes to assure South Africans that we are clear in defending the rights and dignity of people with disability. Regarding the lying-in state, this morning we reached another important stage in the process of bidding Madiba farewell. As his body was escorted along the memorial route from One Mill Hospital to Tabatshwane in the Union Building. We are thankful for the people who joined us in that route. This is the first of the 3 days during which President Mandela will lie in state at the seat of government on a podium at the very site where he was inaugurated as president in 1994. These 3 days give ordinary people a unique opportunity to be part of this commemoration. As we indicated yesterday and before, that the international guests will begin and then the other VIPs are going to pass through, and the public is going to start at 12 o'clock. We are happy that we have been able to meet that deadline, except that we are not able to bring the buses early enough to be able to close the gap which had happened because of the others having filed past. Government wants to advise members of the public that the cutoff has been reached for people wishing to view President Mandela's body at the Union Building this afternoon. Large numbers of people are still in the queues at the various points around the city of Tshwane, from which mourners are being transported to the Union Building. Government welcomes the interest people have shown in wanting to bid Madiba farewell, but we have reached the limit for the day. The main park and ride points from which people are being shuttled to the Union Buildings are Tshwane Event Center and the LC de Villiers South Entrance Sports Complex in Hatfield. The Fountains-Ville Park ride is an overflow point from which visitors are transferred to the event center and the LC de Villiers, where they are prepared for the visit to the Union Building. Organizing authorities appeal to people to be patient. Government is trying to accommodate as many people as possible. For this to happen, visitors must comply with the very strict military protocols that govern the lying in state. Mourners must set out from their homes early in the morning and be prepared to wait in the line and be patient as they did today, and we would like to thank people for doing that. Government appeals for calm and decency in cases where people are turned away, as the protocol dictates that viewing is from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and organizers will stop loading people into buses at about 4 to 4:30 p.m. No identity documents are required and no accreditation is required for this event. As we said before, cell phones will need to be switched off and out of sight at the Union Buildings, and no cameras are allowed at the around the area where the viewing is taking place. Visitors will not be able to stop at the casket as the continuous movement of people will help us to accommodate as many mourners as possible. In this way, we can be able to accommodate at least around 2,000 people per hour. This morning, we had, through experience, we had complaints from the public about the presence of children, young children, in the queues. We then took steps to remove the children from the queues, and we'll appeal to the public that don't bring children. If you want to bring children, we don't have childcare facilities at the accepting points. We'll ask the public to assist that in that regard. The second point which has been raised by the public is the manner in which people are dressed as they file past, especially for African people who hope all of us know that what is the decorum when you go to funerals, what is it you are supposed to do and you're not supposed to wear. We don't want to be tempted to apply strict measures, but we think adults know what they're supposed to do, what men are supposed to wear, what they're not supposed to wear, and women, they know what is it that's supposed to happen. And we'll appeal to the public, at least, to follow those protocols. The suburbs around the Union Building will be closed to vehicular traffic and pedestrians unless the necessary permission is given. Apart from being shuttled to the Union Buildings, there is no other way people can get to the Union Buildings. We call on people to cooperate with authorities at all times and all stages of the process to ensure that it is safe and dignified, and that as many people as possible can share in this unique occasion. People are advised to keep following media for details, for road closures and other arrangements, and find information on the City of Tshwane's website or the normal government's website, which we use for for this process. And updates can always be followed in social media. As you know, most of you do follow that. Each day, the procession will leave the hospital at 7 a.m. and arrive at the Union Building at 8 a.m. Members of the public are invited to form a guard of honor along the memorial route. We ask the public to line up along Kosimapuru Street from the intersection with Jeff Masumula Street. From Kosimapuru Street, the cortege will turn eastward into Madiba Street, along which it will make its way to the Union Buildings. GCIS will hand out flags each morning to people lining in the memorial route. Flags will also be given to mourners who will view President Mandela's casket at the Union Buildings. This memorial route has resulted in road closures in the streets adjoining the memorial route, and the following route and closures will be in place each morning. Madiba Street from Paul Kruger to Lillian Ngoi, alternative route Paul Kruger through Church Square South and Paul Kruger through Struben North. Thabo Suhume Street from Johannes Ramokwase to Pretoria's, alternative route Paul Kruger through Church Square South. Pretoria Street from Lillian Ngoi to Paul Kruger, alternative route Visaki West and Johannes Ramokwase West. It is important to stress that the public guard of honor will not be in place on any of the 3 evenings as the casket goes back to One Mill Hospital. Members of the public will pay their respects between 8 o'clock in the morning to 5:30 every day. With regard to other activities which are taking place in the country, government and various sectors of society are involved in a range of events countrywide that are designed to give people a chance to mourn and celebrate the life of Nelson Mandela. In recognition of the ways in which Utata Madiba promoted women's development and emancipation, the Gauteng provincial government will host an interfaith Women's Day of Prayer at Orlando Stadium tomorrow, that is the 12th of December. On Thursday, the 12th of December. This event gives women of all religious persuasions in the province an opportunity to reflect, pray, and celebrate the role of Madiba. The program will include representatives from different religious groups, including Christians, Muslims, Baha'i, Jewish, Hindu, and African independent churches. The event will begin at 9 a.m. and people who would like more information can contact the Provincial Call Center at 0860 00 11 000. I repeat, 0860 00 11 000. There is also a memorial concert in the State Theatre. This evening, today on the 11th of December, the Department of Arts and Culture and State Theatre will host a memorial concert at the State Theatre at 7:30 p.m. Admission is free to this performance that will feature Gauteng choristers Vusima Tlasela and excerpts from the Rivonia trial with Silo Make Kangu. Many other artists and groups are scheduled to perform. Tickets can be collected as from 6 p.m. With regard to the situation in the Eastern Cape at Kunu, I now want to turn to the issue of the media arrangements around the President Mandela's final resting place at Kunu in the Eastern Cape. Throughout this process, government has ensured that the media have necessary access and facilities to cover this global event. It has, however, come to our attention that some members of the media have violated the protocols and arrangements that are in place in Kunu, and that is causing frustration for authorities and the Mandela family and the community of Kunu. Government appeals to the members of the media to respect former President Nelson Mandela's final resting place in Kunu in the Eastern Cape, as has been the practice in the days since the passing of the first democratically elected president of South Africa, Media have had access to all events and provided with timeless information on arrangements for the days of the national mourning period declared by President Zuma. The final resting place of former President Mandela is culturally significant to the Amatembu clan. We ask the media to please be sensitive to this and respect this site. We appeal to the members of the media who have not been accredited at Nasrec Expo Center in Johannesburg to do so at the Zamakulungisa Technical College campus at Walter Sisulu University, as well as Mandela Heritage Center at Pune. And would ask the media to cooperate with people who are supposed to assist you, and let's respect the family so that we can be able to finish this task, which was just at the beginning of it, in good spirits. I thank you.
Thanks, Minister. At this point, I'll hand over to General Matanzima.
Well, that was Colin Shabane, Minister in the Office of the Presidency, talking about yesterday's memorial, saying that government believes it was a success, thanking all the world leaders, thanking everyone who attended. Did pick up on the scandal of the sign language guy who apparently wasn't making much sense.
Look, I think the first, speaking to my editor this morning, it came through from the UK.